What's up? What's good? I'm Honey Gold Jasmine, and I'm a singer-songwriter, artist, and all-around creative that cares deeply about the mental health of other creatives. So deeply that I went into debt for this, y'all. And sometimes it messes with my mental health, but that's not the point here. The point here is that I want to bring that experience and my expertise to YouTube to pretty much make sure that there's a balance out here in the messages that are going out to creatives. And what I mean by that is I noticed that a lot of the videos that are geared towards creatives online are very much money oriented, and they're very centered around how do you get more streams? How do you book these shows? And all that is great and fine and dandy and very helpful. But what I think comes before that, the money and all that, is what's going on up here. You see so many great artists that are taken over by substance abuse or self-harm and things like that, because a lot of times we're considered to be the people that make other people's lives okay and smooth, but a lot of times our own mental health falls to the wayside because people just kind of see us as cash cows in a way for them to get money. And we even made and neglect our own mental health to get that success. And unfortunately, a study showed that over 70% of artists deal with mental health difficulties. And the two main reasons are, yes, that financial instability that a lot of artists unfortunately face. But the second thing is pretty much us not knowing how to handle the reception to our music. And when that's a negative thing, that really taking a hit on our mental health and our self-esteem. So today's video is going to be focused on the do's and don'ts, 3 do's and don'ts as an artist of how to take criticism and how to process that. And so, yes, I have my iPad here so that I can stay on track with those do's and don'ts, and then I don't gotta come like all off the dome with it or whatever. So let's just get into it. So the first don't is don't fake it till you make it and say things like, well, I don't care what nobody thinks. Because the truth is that most people that say that, I feel like they kind of do care. And it's like a affirmation, if you will, that hopefully they think one day they'll believe. But I think what happens with that is that you kind of build up this false reality that you don't care. And then when you come in contact with someone's opinion that you do care about, and they say something that you don't like, now that whole reality is shattered and you have to face the truth of yourself that you really did care. Now, granted, there's really some people out there that don't care, and this message is not for you. But I do think that the average artist cares a little bit, about how their art is received. So I feel like the do for this will be to be honest with yourself first and foremost, like be that first point of criticism that you face. And don't be overly critical, but be honest. And don't be brutally honest, okay? I'm even talking about with yourself. Like, how you talk to yourself is everything. And say things like you do care what people think because you want to be seen as a great artist, but you're not going to let what people think keep you from being a great artist. You see what I did there, right? It's more so of owning it and walking with that, because I think if you admit that to yourself and you come into some criticism that's hard to take in, you can admit to yourself that you care, but then you can better place how much you should care. And you're operating from that side of the spectrum rather than the other side, and you just don't care. And then when you have to care, or when your body's kind of forcing you to care, you might start getting hot, you might start getting nervous. You're not denying that part of yourself. So the second do and don't is don't clap back at people who criticize you. I know this one can be hard. And honestly, I see even like big time artists and creatives struggling with this. And what this can do is create like a pattern within yourself where the bad things that people say become way bigger than the good things people say. And then from an external perspective, if you're building that fan base, or if you already have an established fan base, now those people in that fan base see that you only respond to the negative comments. Say you have like 100 comments and 70 of them are like, wow, I love this new song, or I love this new piece of art. And then the other 30, you're like, that's too much black in there. And you use too much black, or there's other experts that like that technique that you did, or the mixing, or whatever, right? Whatever people got to say, now you feel like you got to clap back at them 30 people. Well, now you're going to kind of increase those negative comments, because people who are trolls and who just want attention, even if they do like your stuff, They're going to say things that are negative because they feel like that's the way that they get your attention. That's the way to get you to talk. So you don't really want to build up that habit. You want to build up more of a habit of seeing what is good for your mental health and noting those other bad comments, taking them how you will, but don't necessarily respond to them and let it be the fuel behind your fire, right? And so the last thing is, and it kind of goes into that last one I said, is don't think that everyone who criticizes you is just a hater. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this one is hella hard. I sometimes can kind of get into that rabbit hole of like, this is how they really feel about me deep down and all that stuff. But the truth is that yes, for sure, it's going to be some haters. It's going to be some people that straight up will never see nothing good you do. And they're just going to focus on that bad. But I think the dangerous thing about just kind of taking that stance that everyone is a hater is that you lose discernment for when the criticism is good. And that goes into the do, is to pretty much build that discernment on whether or not this person means well. Because I think that if you build that discernment and you can actually admit that some of this criticism is well-meaning, you can then build your community of people that have that well-meaning criticism and then get their feedback early. Get their feedback early in your process so that it's not when you're at this final stage that you're finally going to these people and now you kind of did everything. So you can't go back and fix anything. If you build that discernment, you can better build your community of people that can give you that feedback. And even if they say something that is hard to take and is hard to hear, you know that it's coming from a good place. But if you think that everybody's just a hater, even when someone's telling you something that makes sense, you're already so sensitive to people hating on you and you're not going to hear it. Okay. So those are my 3 do's and don'ts for today. I could have made this video hella long with all these do's and don'ts, but hopefully these things helped you and enlightened you a little bit more on your journey of being an artist and getting that criticism that you're going to get. You know, putting yourself out there means you're going to get opinions. So if any of these resonated with you, I'd love to hear it in the comments. If you have ones that I didn't say or that I should mention in a future video, also leave that into the comments or just say, hey, just say what's up with your girl. You feel me? So like, share, and subscribe. I'm on a goal to get 1,000 subscribers, and I hope that you'll be a part of this budding community of artists that care deeply about their own mental health and the mental health of those around them. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.